So ABC's San Diego is reporting on a story about a man who used to have a pet rattlesnake. So he thought it would be a brilliant idea to try and take a selfie with a different rattlesnake that he stumbled across because he knew how much his pet loved him and how much he loved his pet. So he's like, oh, I guess all rattlesnakes are really nice. Let me try to take a selfie with this. I think you see where this story is going. The guy got bit. Now, thankfully, this dunce head was brought to the hospital, and they were able to save him. But naturally, this is America, so this happened. Yeah, that's a problem. Everybody listening on the live show, you can't see this, but there's a medical bill here. $153,161.25. That's how much the hospital bill was, because this guy's a dummy who got bitten by a rattlesnake. I felt like Donald Trump when I said that. Dummy! You dummy got bitten by a rattlesnake. Dummy! Loser! Baby! So, Washington Post writer Christopher Ingram said that this is, quote, everything wrong with American healthcare. And Addicting Info explains, quote, the bulk of his hospital bill, $83,000 of it, is due to pharmacy charges, specifically charges for the antivenom used to treat the bite. Fassler depleted the antivenom, that's the guy's name, Fassler, supplies at 2 local hospitals during his 5-day visit. Americans pay more for pharmaceuticals than do citizens of any other country, and it's not because of research and development or because of the FDA. It's also not because of Obamacare. Part of the problem goes back to the Bush administration. When the administration changed the Medicare rules for Medicare Part D for pharmaceuticals, when that was set up, the government was forbidden from negotiating lower prices. They still are. Now, full disclosure here, Obama continued that. So he is also responsible. It's not Obamacare that's responsible, but Obama is also responsible for this because he kept that deal going. You know, it's basically payback for the pharmaceutical companies who fund the campaigns of all these different Democrats and Republicans. So when it comes to, hey, can we negotiate for better prices for the drugs, they say no. So they could charge us whatever the fuck they want to charge us. And that gets to another gigantic problem here, which is just the problem of price gouging. The U.S. healthcare system and the U.S. insurance system, it just has endless amounts of price gouging, whether or not you have insurance. People are getting price gouged all over the place. Okay, so when I look at this story, my main takeaway is, of course, I mean, it goes without saying this guy's an idiot. He shouldn't have done what he did. But you shouldn't have to go bankrupt when something like this happens. How many guys like this are out there where they weren't just idiots fucking around and this happened and then they needed to pay the bills? How many of them were just regular people, you know, doing whatever and they got bit by a snake? And they needed fucking antivenom immediately and they were also in the hospital for 5 days. I mean, we're just going to have a society set up where if some shit happens medically and you need help for like over 3 days, that people can just go bankrupt? That's the society we want to live in? You want to talk about fucked up priorities? That's beyond fucked up. It's honestly ridiculous. Like, if there weren't so many people hurt by it, it's almost laughable. Like, other modern nations look at us and they're like, seriously? This is how you prioritize. Because think about it, it's not like the government is incapable of fixing this and just changing the funding, shifting the funding for how we pay for health insurance and health care. They can do it. They just don't want to do it. It's just that they're too busy spending all of our tax dollars on more war and on corporate welfare for Wall Street. That's what they're doing with our tax money. So the idea of actually reallocating our funds to something that makes sense, like education and healthcare, you know, it's not something that's on the agenda anywhere because they're so corrupted by lobbyists and by billionaires and by investment banks that they can't fucking see straight. But that's the answer, man. I'm tired of doing the tweaks around the edges. I'm tired of changing things and making it 8% better in this area and 4% better in that area. Fuck that. If some sort of medical issue happens to you, it shouldn't be possible to go bankrupt. That's exactly what I want my government there to do. Nobody's going to bitch about having to pay somebody's medical bills to prevent a family from going bankrupt because, you know, their kid got sick with something. Nobody's going to begrudge you taking, 22 cents from every one of us to pay for that. We'll give it over gladly. You just have to change the priorities and change the incentives in the system and change the structure of the system. When you look at a medical bill like this, this guy's exactly right. Christopher Ingram said it. This is everything wrong with American healthcare. Some shit happens. Next thing you know, you blink and you owe $153,000 and you can't afford to pay it. That doesn't need to be how it works. That just is how it works. It's time for us to stand up and fight back and try to change it.